Hello, everyone. A very good afternoon to all of you. Hi, I'm Arohi Tyagi, Associate Dean here at AAFT Online. And I, on behalf of the entire AAFT Online fraternity, welcome you all to this webinar. And what could be more exciting than to have with us today Dr. Prachi Patil. Dr. Prachi is the medical director at Novacutis Skin Hair Transplant and Cosmetic Clinic and serves as a master trainer and board member of the International Education Board Department of Aesthetics and Cosmetology in Advanced Facial Aesthetics. With over 18 years of experience, she expertly manages clinical research, technical services, training, and product promotions. Dr. Patil develops training manuals, prepares medical slides for CMEs and product launches, and also promotes products internationally. She coordinates the research and development initiatives, including product conceptualization, the protocol design, and case record forms for clinical trials. Additionally, she organizes multi-centric clinical trials, maintains lab infrastructure, validates reagents, and implements quality initiatives to ensure standardization and efficiency. So without further ado, let me welcome Dr. Patil. Hi, Dr. Prachi.
Hello. Thank you so much, Arohi, for the wonderful introduction. So we can start with the topic.
Yeah, but just before we start, as a token of appreciation, I would want to, present to you an award from our side. And before doing that, I would want all of you to know that few of you are already enrolled here with us. And those who are not enrolled, I mean, you have a golden opportunity to, hear from Dr. Prachi about the innovations in healthcare. And then you can contact us in case of any other assistance needed. And Dr. Prachi, we are very, very proud to present you with this award, the International Chamber of Media contribution to the healthcare sector.
Thank you so much, Dr. Arohi. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It's all our pleasure, and it's over to you now.
Thank you. So can we get the presentation? Yeah. Next slide. Okay. So hello, everyone. Very interesting topic today is innovations in healthcare industry. Basically, I congratulate every one of you to participate in this event and get more knowledge and build up your career in the same industry. So first of all, congratulate yourself. And talking about myself is like already Dr. Aruhi has spoken about me, is like after an experience of 18 years in hospital industry, healthcare industry, I realized that it's just growing leaps and bounds. There is no a place where we can say that healthcare is not growing. In fact, healthcare is the most important and a very interesting industry in today's world. So when I started my journey, as I did my medicine after my graduation, I started working as a casualty medical officer in a JJ hospital, and where I was handling the day-to-day activities along with the admin part. And that part was so interesting that it developed more interest into healthcare industry. And while doing the CMO, I realized that I need to study more into the products and medicines. I did a research course from Kalina University. And after that, I got my first research project in dermatology. So I started doing like research in derma products. I launched many anti-aging products that time. And with that, we started doing something with medicine related to cosmetology. Then I did a course in like a postgraduate course in cosmetology from Singapore. I studied there, and I saw the difference in the healthcare segment in other countries and our India. So we had so many things to discuss that time, but there was no scope because we were evolving, So right now I can say you guys are so lucky to have so many advances here in your industry. Okay, so After that, I did a course in hair transplant, and I have my 4 OTs for hair transplant. And again, lately I did this course in semi-permanent makeup, which is like most innovative industry again, along with your hospital management work. Okay, so the point to tell you is that going through one segment to other segment, so it is an extension of the same branch. So when you plan to do one, you can say department study, you see that everything is so correlated. So when you start doing your hospital management, you will understand that all the systems are so interrelated and so correlated that you can have a very good understanding of the subject. Then I got awarded as one of the best international speaker in Bangkok last month. So going ahead, we are doing an academy also. Fine. And very important thing is, what are the life learnings for young aspiring professionals? Is like, see, when I talk about it, it's like it's a whole product. Like, you have to understand that, am I really interested? And if yes, if you are focused in your industry, you have to be dedicated, you have to give time, you have to be more into reading, because readers are leaders. So if you don't read your subject well, it is very difficult to do a good justice to your profession. Okay, and there is no shortcut to hard work. You have to work hard, you have to give time to reading, you have to do a due diligence, due analysis, you have to have a daily calendar of your work, so you can understand that where am I lacking. Because just a half knowledge and just thinking that I know a little bit and I can do my best, so you're absolutely wrong. You have to give time, you have to be very dedicated, and you have to keep learning. That's what I can say. Don't give up, and be very focused. Okay, next slide, ma'am. Yeah. So now let's go to the dynamic landscape of hospitals. Now, when you read about hospitals, definitely you think about COVID time, because that was a time that everybody was knowing about hospital management, hospital, whatever, routine visits and all. So there was kind of a fear amongst us. One, because of the disease, and two, because of the hospital. So why we have that fear that time? Because sometimes we see that the hospitals are not managed well, or like the tertiary hospitals are only managed well. So we can't afford to go to tertiary care, so you have that fear that I don't want to go to the hospital. So when you are entering into hospital management, you have to understand one thing, is that you have to reduce the fear of the people, you have to give more hope to the people. And because of a good hospital management, good patient responses, reviews, and good services being happening. So if you see that Bombay was the only majorly the place where the hospitals have done a great job. So we say that, yeah, the hospital management was amazing. I got a very good experience. So what is this happening is that more tertiary care hospitals, more advanced technologies, diagnostic skills are developing in India, due to which you're getting good response. And believe me, healthcare is really evolving. I'll go through the slides and explain you the importance of hospital management. And yes, hospitals are evoluting. We are going from more primary care to more tertiary care, and more corporate hospitals are coming to give you a lot of services under one umbrella. Okay, next one. And coming to this is like, when you think that, am I a right candidate for hospital management, or do I really need to learn about it? I'll tell you one thing is that Indian healthcare sector is enormously growing, and now it accounts to about almost $370 billion industry, going at a compound annual growth rate of 22%. So it's a huge scope for your growth in this industry. And by 2026, it might go to $610 billion industry is what is expected, right? So you have to understand that why this like change is happening in hospital management is because of the technology. So technology plays a huge role in reshaping the healthcare industry. So now, because of the recent technologies, the diagnoses are more precise. There is more improvement in the patient care, and there are these telemedicines which are so important, because if you see, when patients or people who are not able to go to the hospital due to some reasons, telemedicine has evolved enormously. So through telemedicines, I think you all must have gone through this phase where in COVID time, when people were like not able to attend the hospitals, they are remote area people, they were not able to go to the hospitals. What happened that time is telemedicine really helped them. So you have to understand, one thing is that telemedicine is one of the most simplest form of technology, but it is really helping many people who are not able to attend the hospitals. Okay, next. So one of the most interesting thing is what are the new techniques which have come into the hospital management. We have artificial intelligence. I guess you guys know about artificial intelligence. If yes, you can just say why in your chat box, or if no, it's okay, you can say no, we can educate you further. Can you, are you there with me? Okay, great. So now, when I talk about artificial intelligence, it's like a healthcare industry wherein it helps more into diagnosis. Agreed. So when you see that there was earlier a basic diagnostic tools were available, like your sonography, X-rays, but now we have evolved. We are going from X-ray to CT scans to MRIs to AI-based technologies, which are gonna really help you to diagnose certain diseases. Example: breast cancer, lung cancer. So artificial intelligence plays a huge role in giving the accuracy of the diagnosis. Now there's something called as internet of medical things. So it involves interconnected medical devices and wearables that monitor and transmit health data in real time. So this technology supports mainly monitoring of vital organs, vital signs, then medical adherence. So it is important, because if you see, like if you go to hospital, and if you say that doctor, you admit me, and my care is being taken, but if you want to know your blood pressure, if you want to know your other vital things, you have to call someone, again they'll do. Rather than that, we have more advanced medical devices which will show you all the details in one screen, right? So that is something very important, where you can see your all the vitals, including your blood pressure, your SpO2, and your other like you can say respiratory rate. So many things are there. So under one screen, the things are being monitored, right? Very important is machine learning. I hope if you remember the movie Three Idiots, where there was a question asked is like, what is a machine? Right? Do you remember? I hope you remember this movie, because machine is something people think is very complex, but machine learning makes your life more simple. Imagine there are these machines which actually give you the analysis of your diseases and also the management. Example: if you have a dialysis unit, it works as an artificial kidney. If you have an artificial heart, which works as a heart machine during the heart transplant. So machines actually replaces the human organs and help to give a very good life. So in a way, these innovations, they help to make healthcare more simpler, more specific, more well planned and designed. So if you are aware of all these new technologies, you can inculcate in your practice. You can help the administration to grow in a way where patient care is taken in a more planned, organized, high technology based manner. Okay, next. Okay, so coming back to 3D printing technology, it is a very new, a very innovative technology, and it is rapidly advancing in healthcare, and it enables the production of customized prosthetics, implants, and anatomical models. So now there are like when I was in Thailand last month, and I had to give a lecture there, but we were not allowed to inject. Non-Thai doctors were not allowed to inject. That time I carried my anatomical models, which has the same feeling of a muscle, a skin, we can say the 3Ds, which shows the vasculature. So in a way, we showed all the injectables on the anatomical models. So thanks to 3D printing technology, that what you imagine, you see. It's like we have a human model where we were showing all the anatomy on that model, injection technologies, everything. So we can say that this 3D printing technology is not only speeding up your you can say analysis, but it also helps us to give you more clarity on the procedures, like how the procedure is going to be. And it also shows 3D printing of organs, so you can exactly see the replica of the organs. You must have heard about robotics. Now, robotics are the mainstay of treatments nowadays, because even we use robotics for your hair transplant. So even in hair transplant industry, or you can say in ortho, in you can say cardiology, there are this robotic technologies. So what are we trying to say? We are trying to say that we are evolving in healthcare in a way that the diagnosis, your treatment plan, your post surgical plan, your medicines, and all are taken care with a more smooth way, more you can say a more specific way, because diagnosis plays a huge role in our medicine practice. You know, so I can share some examples. Is like when I have seen is like there was a case where the girl came with the condition of pain in the stomach area, or locally what we say, it was an abdominal pain, and a sonography was done. Then she came back with the saying that in sonography there's some stones are seen, renal stones are seen. They're very fine, not so specific. She was referred to you can say a doctor who treats the kidney stones. Okay, and then she was referred to a urologist, right? So but then she came back again with the same complaints, then decided to do a CT scan. And when CT scan was done, she had a dermoid cyst in the ovary, which was like by birth. So see the diagnosis, how it changed from one diagnostic tool to another. So what is the importance is more specifications are required when it goes to diagnosis. So in that case, when the diagnosis was changed, a complete change of treatment happened. Then we need to do a surgical correction. We have to remove the cyst. So, are you understanding the importance of new technologies for a better treatment plan? Imagine you have to be understanding the state of the patient. The patient has get she's getting one diagnosis first, and then she's going to second diagnosis. That's the reason people shift from one hospital to other hospital in the form of second opinion. People will keep on taking second opinions because they are not convinced. Why they are not convinced? Because things are sometimes not so clear. So what is important is, from our point of view, is we need to give more accurate diagnosis, or more specific diagnosis to the patient, so the treatment plan is well managed. And then this is how mainly the mainstays or the treatment of the patients. Then is how do you manage the whole thing, is like the administration part, the treatment part, and then the diagnosis, the post treatment care, any issues with the patients. So many things are there, right? But in that, if your hospital is well equipped with the latest technologies, you are in a better position to help the patients. Okay, next slide. Okay, now coming to blockchain technology. Okay, it is again a very interesting thing. It is mainly leveraged to secure the health data. Now, there's so much of data exchange, medical record management, and it ensures the integrity of the whole system. If there are some trials that are happening, which are very confidential. So blockchain technology helps to secure the trial data, the health care data. So it is important to maintain the security of our data. So it has to be more secure, more transparent, more tamper-proof data transactions. So to maintain the patient privacy and trust in healthcare system. So confidentiality and privacy are very, very important in healthcare system. So you have to understand that. understand one thing, that everything is related to one another. So when I'm talking about all these diagnostic tools or innovative tools, they are for a patient betterment. Okay. Then precision medicines. Again, there are these precision medicines and genomics. What they're going to help is, they are important just not to give you a typical medicines, but they are important to treat and to give medicines as per individuals genetic profile. In India, I have seen is that when it comes to genetics, we are not that well advanced. We generally don't talk much about genetics, much about screening techniques. There are very few hospitals and institutes who are handling, you can say, about the innovations in genetics. But yes, if this comes in a more full-fledged manner, it's definitely gonna help majority of the people, you know. So precision medicines and, you can say, genomics are very, very important. And yes, there's a question to me is that, is there any codes for blockchain technology? Yes, we have a codes. We can update you on your personal chat. Okay, so precision medicine and genomics are aimed to improve the treatment outcomes, which is very important, and reduce adverse reactions by targeting therapies based on patients' unique genetic makeup. Now, when you say that this is genetic, that is genetic, how do we know all this? You have to go through a screening test. There was a time, if you remember, since 10 years back, there are many deaths happening in the young people due to heart attack. We can say, oh, he or she was only 30, 35 and she died of heart attack. Or somebody will say, oh, at very young age she got a stroke, or very young age she got a heart attack. So people talk about it. Okay, but what is the mainstay of this is, there is some genetic conditions when it comes to heart, like familial hypercholesterolemia. It is a genetic problem. Even the person looks very thin externally, but internally his cholesterol is more high because of his genetic pattern, right? So this runs in families. So when you ask the patient, like, okay, now the person who died of heart attack at the age of 30, 35, we take his back history of his family members who must have died early. So we do a screening for familial hypercholesterolemia. So genetic screening happens, so the medicines are designed accordingly. So this is like a precise medicines as per the genetic profile. So very, very important, because there are many diseases we are genetically linked, but highly not understood, not so much spoken about. So it just goes like that, right? Even if you see basic diseases like metabolic, more common diseases like diabetes runs in families. There is a genetic predisposition, but we always say that, oh, you eat sugar, you get diabetes. A very, very, very not so related term, but people are going to talk like that. Oh, I got diabetes, no, I'm not going to take sugar. I got diabetes, I'm not take rice. These are very basic things and very superficial, not related to your treatment management. So if you guys, if you have a good knowledge about the subjects, about what you're doing in hospital, and if you have more counselors, more innovative AI tools to diagnose the disease, then your further point comes to how to take care of the disease, how to give it through a nutrition approach, a medicine approach, a lifestyle approach, a counseling approach. And you in hospital administration have to look after all these things, right? You can go to the next slide. Right. Now, another innovative health technology is your augmented reality and virtual reality. Now, this virtual reality you see in malls, when you go, you just put this camera screen and you watch something virtual, right? But you never think that how this virtual reality is going to help me in my, you can say, my career, how I'm going to do this. Do we ever think all this? Do we ever think about it? Can anybody say? Anybody know about virtual reality? Can anybody talk about virtual reality?
Please put in your answers in the chat box.
Fine, no problem. I can tell you, virtual reality, these are all technologies which gives you the accuracy of your diagnosis by taking the patient's history. We have a scan which helps to identify more issues. Now if somebody looks at the skin of a patient, for example, if I want to see a skin of a patient and I want to go further into it, so I can just use a basic diagnostic tools of touching the mirror onto the skin, but a virtual reality will give me more insights, right? So these are all important things to give you more diagnostic support to our patient care. Okay, very important to understand diagnostic support systems, risk assessment tools, patient monitoring applications. So all these things are going to help us to understand more of your you can say diagnostic tools, majorly diagnostic tools, so that the assessment goes right and the patient gets the right medicine. Okay, next. Okay, now wearable health devices. Anybody has seen any wearable health devices? You can just write Y or no or N, you can say. Fine. Now you must have seen, okay, great. Now you must have seen that there are this devices which you must have seen in your family, like a glucometer, there is a patch, or recently there are certain devices which you use it like a basic thing. When you, a scope, when a doctor uses a scope, a magnificent, a magnifying lens. So these wearable health devices, they help to give you more your security and more readings about your vitals. Example, when you must have seen during COVID time, SpO2, your oxygen level was like very important. That time we couldn't see anything else than our oxygen levels. So just to put a device on your index finger and say, okay, now my SpO2 is so much, my respiratory rate is so much, my pulse rate is so much. So this device, a wearable device, will help you to give you more information about your vital organs, your general condition. There are certain patch, insulin patch, like how we get, there are other patches which are based on your arm or on the, we can say, thighs, to give you more information about the sugar, right? Then there are more like advanced techniques like yeah, there are smart watches. Very good, I'm very happy. There are smart watches, when you do a like a jogging or exercise, will give you your heart rate, your pulse rate. It is very important, right? So imagine, in one umbrella there are so many things which can give us more diagnostic tools, assessment tools, medicinal tools. Okay, and then you have surgical tools, then you have your lifestyle tools. Okay, so we have all these things in place. We have to understand that how we are going to make use of the available resources, right? Next. Okay. Now, something very interesting is big data analytics and predictive data analytics. So, big data analytics is what is something like for people who are in data science. For them, it is very good. It's like you take the cumulative data, like thousands of patient records, insurance plans, prescriptions, vaccine records. You take the entire data and you get to know the information that which disease is more prevalent or why these things are happening. So it gives an analytical data for further management. And predictive data is like this is a process, or you can say, of using this existing data to forecast future outcomes. Now when we do all these vaccines, okay, our record is there with the government. Okay, so like so many lakhs of people took the vaccine, so they know that at least there is an immunity for this example COVID disease, right? And then okay, fine, I have taken vaccine, but how many of me must have taken this? So we know that one disease now it's handled, there is an immunity. But if you don't have the data, how we are going to prove that we have immunity to that particular disease, or are we resistant to that particular disease? Now when we talk about like major diseases in India, like diabetes, heart diseases, blood pressure, or you talk about infectious diseases, okay, like tuberculosis, and there are so many other diseases which are very common in India. So how we come to know with all the data analytics, and then the medicines are prescribed, the new medicines are being devised as per the available data, that how many have got the results, how many deaths have happened. So where is more need to focus on which particular medicine. Okay, next. Yeah. So now we have this patient portals, very, very important, because nowadays it's all patient centric treatments are there. Like the patient have the right to discuss about their treatments, their entire histories, and to select their doctor, to select their hospital, to select the medicines, because online everything is available. Hospitals, then pharmacies, then your nutraceutical things. So patient portals are the key nowadays. Patient have the right to give a review also. So these portals are helping them to give more information, and through that portals they can access the healthcare system wherever they want to get more information. They put online apps for consultation also. So patient portal is very important. You focus on that more, give more specific information on patient portals, so there is less confusion. Sometimes there is so much of knowledge on Google that we are so confused, but if patient portals are there where they get the right information, I think we can do a better job. Like, and then there are this mobile health apps. Oh my God, everybody is on mobile the moment you open your eyes in the morning from bed till you sleep. So mobile health apps are many, but how do we use it? How do we make it more patient friendly? So how people know what exactly to look for, because there's a vast information. So there are selected mobile health apps which has to be more you can say you have to guide the patient more specifically what you should look for. If I have a joint pain problem, I should be only focusing on the joint pain problem. So this mobile health apps gives us that kind of a justice, rather than looking for too many things, too many confusions. These health apps are more specifically designed to give you the specific information of your diseases or your condition. Next. Yeah. So there is always a need for continuous quality improvement. So everything has to be patient-centered care. Okay. And you have to be very, very clear about what you're going to deliver to the patient. See, it's a journey, right? To enter into the hospital and to leave the hospital or the center with a smile on face, right? So it is very important. And then everything is team based approach. Without a team we are nothing. Our communication has to be very specific, very clear, without much confusion created into the patient's mind. And there is a need for sustainable development. By looking into the population size of India, it has to be more specific, more approachable, even to the rural areas where there are not many tertiary care centers. So how you can reach up to them through your apps, through your communication, through your hospital management systems, and provide a good care, so that there is a development all across. It's just not like you're thinking about the metros. So going further, it has to be like a care which is mainly quality driven. Next. Now, empowering healthcare professionals. Now, you have to invest into continuous education and training. Believe me, the day you think that I know everything is the day you start your training again, because healthcare is an ongoing process and it has to be ongoing and it has to have new insights. So, you have a more clear picture in your mind whenever you are planning to have a patient profile with you and managing the patient in the hospital. Then you have to think about the culture of innovation and collaboration, and work ethics, very, very important. So work ethics are important as it will lead to a more you can say a process driven journey, wherein you know that this is from A to B to C to D, and it cannot be like A to D directly. You have to have the knowledge of your work ethics to give a more integrated approach to your patients. And effective leadership programs, or effective leadership is something which you all plan together in the morning of the day, beginning of the day, what exactly needs to be done. And to be an effective leader, you have to be a reader. You have to read on all the concepts, because hospital management is a big umbrella under which there are many portfolios handling. And if you are a good leader, you know where you need to focus on your which area in the hospital particularly to get the more advances into your treatment. Otherwise, if you something goes unnoticed, you will never get an understanding. So as a leader or as an effective leadership program, one has to know the detailed insights of the hospital or the institute where you're working. Next. Yeah. Now the most important topic, very, very important topic is what is the role of a good hospital administrator? Now, if you think, okay, hospital administration means you're sitting at one desk and just taking the billings or just taking the entries, then you're wrong. If you want to be a part of hospital management, first thing, you have to be very empathetic, you have to be very patient, you have to be very clear, you have to have the understanding of the subject, which is very, very important. If your understanding of the subject with your latest technologies, your hospital administration things, your entire portfolios in the hospitals, the number of employees in the hospital, the number of rooms in the hospital, OTs, OPD, everything, including the pantry, the ward boy, what he does, or the sisters are there, there are counselors. If you know the entire knowledge of entire hospital system, then you can plan your day-to-day supervision. That is very important. If your day-to-day supervision is good, believe me, there will be less mistakes and there will be more growth. Then interdepartmental coordination. Very, 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 very important point is interdepartmental coordination. Most of the time, there are issues between the departments. And if you are biased towards one, you can never give justice to the other. So you have to understand that there is a system which needs to be followed, and above all, there's humanity which needs to be followed. If one department is not working well, that doesn't mean the nine others are working good. So it's okay if one is not working well. Do not keep that attitude. You always have to see is that why this one department is not working, why, what needs to be done there. If your interdepartment coordination is the best, then you are a best leader, because a leader takes everyone together. You can't just keep one person aside and, yeah, I can do my best job. No, it doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. You have to have one thought, one process, one system driven technology wherein there are less mistakes, right? Smooth workflow. Now, when you say smooth workflow, it is very easy to say, right? That it's a smooth workflow. Don't you think it's easy to say? You can say yes if you're convinced, or you can say no if you're not convinced. It's very easy to say smooth workflow, right? Say, you can say why in your chat. Yes, it's very nice to say smooth workflow, right? But what is smooth workflow? Smooth workflow will only come when you have in-depth knowledge of your work, when you have in-depth knowledge of the system you're doing it, when you have in-depth knowledge of the day-to-day activities, and it is a last thing to achieve smooth workflow, because you need to cross all the hurdles. And believe me, you are a one point contact with 2 ears and 2 eyes and one brain to listen to all these events happening in the hospital. But if you understand in a more process way, in a more organized way, believe me, you will achieve the smooth workflow pattern. It starts from your ground staff to your head, to your seniors, and how you're going to do is only and only with a more process driven organization. And the last, but very, 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 very important is patient satisfaction. Everything revolves around patient satisfaction. If all of the things are done and patient satisfaction is not there, then we are not a good hospital administrator. Sorry to say that. So, patient satisfaction is the first thing you should think in your mind and walk into the hospital. The day you think that my one patient is satisfied will make 100 other patients satisfied. Patient satisfaction is a key to our journey, but you have to understand that there are some people who may try to, give you different situations, but end of the day, understand one thing is a person who is in need of your care, you first solve that with following the systems and management and all that stuff. And then if there are issues, you can handle. But his health, for what he or she has visited your place, has to be taken care first. keeping in mind all the consent forms, all the billings and everything in a very audio, like you can say a very you can say peaceful way, because you have to be very peaceful with the patient. They're coming to you with a hope that this hospital will save me, or this hospital will give me the best thing, or this hospital, Mr. X in this hospital is the one point contact. So you tell the other person also, oh, when you go to this hospital, the admin is excellent, the management is excellent, the people are nice. Then there is a repeat. So patient satisfaction is ultimate vision and mission of your work, wherein you plan everything to do the things in an organized way, keeping in mind the timelines. But timelines are very important. We cannot just say that, oh, I want to give the best, I can give more time. No, your time is the most expensive thing. So when you plan, you have to give more time to patient care, be more organized. There has to be a stopwatch, or wherein you monitor the timings, because if the patient wastes most of his time or her time waiting in the lobby for her turn to come, and all these things, the patient gets more upset, because the thing is that I paid so much for what? For my time. And if I'm there sitting and a patient is just waiting, the doctor comes in 1 hour, not accepted. Or medicines are not given time, they're not available in the hospital, not accepted. Or for one surgery, you have to go to the other hospital, not accepted. So this is patient satisfaction, which starts from your ground level. It's not something that, oh, she's come to a big hospital, let her wait, see in the cafeteria what's there. See, hospitals are designed nowadays in a more plush manner or more organized manner. But your role is to follow the time. A hospital which follows the time, gives timely treatment, is always appreciated with a good human beings around, or good people around to give them that support and care. Believe me, if I go to a I can share many experiences like it with my father when I took him to a very good hospital, so called, and then I realized that the treatment didn't go well. He got a side effect of a medicine, but the doctor gave the medicine was on holiday. Once he gave the medicine to him, he went on a holiday, he was out of town, not reachable. And then the other doctor was waiting for his decisions. So me being into medical field, I gave him the authority to change the medicines, to do certain things, and I could save my father. But I can't say that thing with every other, like a parent or a child or a family was going for certain help in a hospital, paying good amount of money. So all the other things are at one place, but you have to be bit empathetic. You have to be more empathetic, rather not bit empathetic, more empathetic, more clear, transparent, and more knowledgeable with your work to be in hospital management. And I think it is one of the fabulous industry to work with. It's connected with emotions, it connected with so many new technologies. So it's more happening industry, provided you have the all the knowledge so you can save the patient. So I think patient care is very important, along with your hospital administration knowledge of your subject. And then it gives you a good combination. And I can just say one thing, that if you're planning to be a part of hospital management, I think it's the best decision you have taken in today's world. And this is something gonna give you more satisfaction, more gratitude, and more job satisfaction, and more progress. So that's what I can say right now. Thank you so much. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Prachi, for such a wonderful talk and such a wonderful lecture. So, to all the learners, if you have any queries, please drop in your questions in the Q&A box or in the chat box. We'll be, very excited to take your questions up. So, till that time, Dr. Prachi, I wanted to just ask that, as you mentioned, that we have so many new technologies coming up in the healthcare sector.
Yeah.
So, do you think an administrator can also make use of these innovations and make his life easier as an administrator?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, for sure. Yes, because if as a hospital administrator, if you have this knowledge, you can definitely design the diagnosis plan for the client, for the patient, and you can direct them to that particular doctor and tell them that we have these facilities, my patient is ready to take the facilities, and he, as an administrator, you have the authority to involve these technologies in the hospital, and it's going to be a good help. Yes, very good question, ma'am. Very nice.
All right. Also, Dr. Prachi, just wondering that to make a career in this field, as in in hospital management, do
Yeah.
you think there has to be a qualification requirement, say a degree or diploma, or one can just go and venture out and become an administrator?
Ideally, you should be a 12th grade pass, and then you can plan also because it's a new field for you. So at least if you have 11, 12 science background, okay for you, much better. And you can start from post 12 standard, and there is a scope, guys. There is a scope. I can say with my experience, it is definitely going to help even post 12 standard. If you want to take it as a mainstream of your career, you should go ahead with it. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Also, Dr. Prachi, there is this trend of becoming entrepreneurs. There's a trend of having new startups coming up, and in healthcare sector as well. So, do you
Yes.
think that maybe doing this course, say a diploma in hospital management, will help them initiate that entrepreneurial skill which they have, or help in that journey which they are looking at, say maybe 5 years down the line?
Definitely. India, I have seen like there are so many startups in healthcare. And if you have the entire knowledge of handling a healthcare, to know the legalities, definitely you'll get to know in the diploma course. You can be an entrepreneur. And it is always good to know your subject and then start as an entrepreneur in that particular industry. And I think we should have this kind of entrepreneur programs because most of the time people bases on their any MBA in hospital management or diploma in hospital management, they prefer to work in hospitals. But if you get a chance as a startup in as an entrepreneur in healthcare, I mean it's one of the best thing to do. If you guys have that interest, you must go for it. Very important, you know.
All right. Also, Dr. Prachi, if you could just briefly elaborate on the, scope which maybe a learner would have, like a fresh pass out who's done a degree or a diploma in healthcare management, hospital management. What are the areas in which they can move forward, or the areas wherein they can explore their careers in?
Okay, what they can do is post this diploma course or post a degree course. They can choose a specific course, a professional course. They can do an AI based course. They can do MBA in AI healthcare, which is very very booming sector. They can do like a post grad in data science. There are 1 year courses in data science. It will also help them to be a part of it. They can become a research scientist. They can go into one segment of research as well. They can also go into pharma companies where they have their post-marketing surveillance plans. So there are many job opportunities post your degree diploma also, because for healthcare you have all this new cosmetic clinics, hospitals, medical tourism is happening. So I can say even once you're done with your course, you can be a part of medical tourism also, which is very important. Now this is event happening in September in Malaysia, where I'm a speaker for medical tourism. I am seeing that many people from different countries want to collaborate with India. Okay, so it is a big scope. Even if you do a degree, diploma, specialize in one segment, whichever you like, and you can be a part of this various fraternities. You can go abroad as well with your data science background and do that.
All right, I think that's great and valuable information. All right. Another question I have is that if there is someone who wants to transition from, from one industry to now the healthcare industry. So
Yeah.
what are those skills you would say? I mean, these are the particular skills which are actually going to which are valuable, say, in the healthcare management. And will it be correct or a beneficial decision to, switch careers in the first place? Or you should just stick to whatever you've chosen and
Okay.
be like that.
Honestly, if you are doing a course or you have done some degree course, and if you're not happy, and you're getting a chance to do something, suppose in hospital management, and you're happy and empathetic about it, about this industry, then you must enter, because you make a career, right? It's a career plan. It's a whole life dependent on these choices what you make in your life. And being young and being interested in changing the your course to hospital management will never fail you, because this is a knowledge everyone should have. But if you are more specifically gaining this knowledge and shifting your career in this, you need to have a good command over your English language, because most of the things are more detailed in English. Then you need to have more marketing skills, which even if you can develop with time, these two things are important, like your language and your marketing skills, so you can easily manage. Yeah.
All right. So we have a question here by Harshvardhan, and he says that I am the co-founder and editor of ProdWorks, and we are tech product publications. And you know, he actually wants to understand that uh, how can we grow more in this field
Okay.
in the technology sector.
Oh my God, it's one of the wonderful things, because if he can Google it, like, he will get to know that there's so many AI based courses are there, which you can use it in India, and you can promote that in India, rather than we going abroad and learning the things. If he wants to have this, like machine learning, AI based courses, then we have this, blockchain technology, we have research based technology, we can get that in India. I mean, he can personally contact us, we will give more details, because now it's
Yeah,
difficult
so
to talk
Harshvardhan, you can
details.
reach out to Anjali. Her, number is there in the chat box, and maybe then we can take this forward.
Yeah.
All right. Another question is there by Jyoti, and she's asking that when it comes to patient satisfaction segment, what kind of questions do we have to face?
Patient satisfaction, the first thing happens is that the patient who are having an issue coming to hospital, they are always in a hurry, because everybody wants to get attended faster, want to go out of the hospital faster. So most of the time the patient will ask you questions like, in how much time it will done, and then what is the amount of money I have to shell in. So the two three options are there which are very commonly asked by patients. And in that case, you have to understand that, make them more calm and comfortable, write it down their points and solve them one by one. If you just listen and attend to them, there only the patient gets satisfied. So your counseling techniques has to be very good, so when patient comes to you, you know how to handle. We have a course for that, so I think Dr. Aru, you can tell them. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. So there are many queries coming in case you want to join the program. Here are all the details, and you can contact Anjali for more details on this.
Yeah.
Right. So, Dr. Prachi, again, we have like a mixed bag of students. So, we have enthusiastic learners also with us who have already decided to embark on this journey of a diploma in hospital management. So, your advice to them, what would be like, say, uh, a two-liner advice to them? What should they focus on in this 1 year?
They should only focus on the subjects what they given to them in hospital management, and they should develop a discipline. So, and more case studies to be there in your. It's a 1 year course, right, ma'am? It's a
Yeah.
1 year course, yeah. So I can only say two things is that you are the center point of a hospital. So you understand that how many portfolios are attached to you. Second thing is your time management is the key in hospital management. If you learn that two things along with the subject, you nailed it, and then you will do the best in your career. And I think you have chosen a right path, and as a doctor, I'm telling you, this hospital management is very very good industry. Stick to it if you are the part of it, I can just say that much.
Yeah, thank you so much for such a wonderful session, and I'm sure everybody is motivated to learn more about hospital management and how they can become good administrators. Thank
Yes.
you so much for your time, and thank you everyone for joining.
Thank
Thank
you,
you so
Dr.
much.
Arul. Thank you so much.
Thank
Thank
you,
you,
Dr.
everyone.
Prachi.
Thank you. Bye. Bye.
Bye
Bye.
bye.
Bye.